What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. So the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria published some of the big men and women owing big money. Senator Ben Bruce is not the only one. 100 people owe 953 billion naira. Now, the fact that they're owing money is not the only problem, but the attitude of so many Nigerians. A lot of people have been saying that they don't see anything wrong in this. They want the government to focus only on corrupt politicians and leave the debtors alone. But I have a problem with that. I understand that if you want to do business, you have to borrow money. And it's true that many of these people invested the money that they borrowed in Nigeria. But if you borrow money, there has to be a payment plan, especially when it's obvious that your business is booming, the business that you borrowed the money for. In fact, some of them have houses worth millions of dollars abroad. Sorry, I have to use Senator Ben Bruce as an example again, but how will you borrow money? Since 2010, 2011, some of them since the early 2000s, and not make attempts to pay it back just because you know powerful people? Or is it that you're thinking that you're untouchable? This concerns me because it's your savings that the banks are lending these people. It's the money that you deposited. We've had instances where banks were liquidated in Nigeria because big people borrowed and borrowed and borrowed and refused to pay back. Kwara State is a very good example. The Saraki's family completely wiped out the money deposited at Societe General Bank. Till today, there are people whose savings were wiped out. Old people. This same Saraki is now lobbying for immunity and life pension. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, since these senators came into office, I don't see how these senators have made life better for the common Nigerians except to pursue selfish interests. Right now, banks are laying people off like crazy. There's no money to pay workers because debtors did not pay their loans. Eco Bank fired 1,040 workers in 1 month. 1 month. First Bank said that they're firing 1,000 people. Zenith Bank fired 1,200. And this is another repercussion of people borrowing and not paying back. Most of those fired, by the way, are young people. Another thing that pains me is that a lot of people with, small businesses, the bank will deny them loans, but just because these people are big people or they know big people, they lend them the money. Seriously, if we are fighting corruption, we can't just focus on the politicians. There has to be collective social responsibility. I mean, how do you explain the ex-Air Force chiefs having properties worth 15 billion naira? How much is their salaries? EFCC seized 29 exotic properties worth over 15 billion naira from 3 former Air Force chiefs. My friend put up their faces. This is Air Marshal Adeola Amosu, Air Vice Marshal Jacob Adigun, as well as Air Commander Olubenga Gbadebo. Should we overlook them just because they are not politicians? I don't think so.
After being confronted with the charges, the former Chief of Air Staff promised to return 4 billion naira to the EFCC, out of which he has remitted 2.6 billion naira.
I'm glad that these people are returning our money, but they said you're a thief. Oga, you still they do your guy, they do shakara. There's no shame at all. Don't worry, continue.
And how far with Buratai's case? I'm sure you've heard that the chief of army staff is being investigated for there's a $1.5 million property in Dubai and another $419,000 property also in Dubai. And why is the Minister of Defense defending Buratai? I don't get it. The army is also defending the man. When, no offense, but several times this same army has denied death tolls and casualties, even when we see pictures. So why should we believe you that the man is a saint? I'm not saying that Buratai is guilty, but let EFCC do its job. This is exactly why people are saying that this government is one-sided in its fight against corruption. And speaking of banks, I was so pissed off last week when I saw this video. So that was Governor Fayoshe's house. EFCC froze his account, as you know, at Zenith Bank. So Zenith Bank officials went to his house to beg him. He said that the bank sponsored his election. The bank denied it. My first problem with the video is the fact that bank officials had to go and beg him. And I know that those men are just trying to save their lives, but that troubles me. It troubles me that Nigerian officials can do and undo. Even after they went to beg him, the man can still do and undo. This last week, a musician disappeared in Adamawa State few hours after releasing a song about corruption among government officials. In other countries, well, countries that are actually developing, government officials are seen as people elected to serve the people. They serve the people, but in Nigeria, political offices warrant entitlement. They are not accountable to anybody. We worship them, and we even let them know that they can get away with things just because they are, I don't know, governor, chairman, whatever you name it. When would we realize that these are just job descriptions? They are not gods. Anyway, if Fayose was a nobody, let's say he's just a yahoo guy, do you think the bank would be going to his house to beg him? Another thing that pissed me off in the video was the fact that Fayose was asking the journalists how they got access to his living room.
If you want to see anybody, how did you get here? Well, sorry, sir, it's not this person.
Like seriously, like really? Who are we deceiving? Even if you are not a governor, nobody can just enter your house. How much more a governor? You mean to tell me Fayose did not know about this? No, see, I may be wrong, but it's very possible that Fayose was the one that invited the media. No media can just bust into your living room like that now. If not, he won't just say that, oh, how did you get here? He will get up and drive them out. Now, what pissed me off the most in the video were the journalists.
We just came to see the governor, like I said.
Sir, we would want you to set the record straight. Did your bank actually deny funding the election?
Well, I'm not the spokesperson for the bank.
What is the position of the bank on the allegation the governor has leveled against the bank?
Wow. So Nigerian journalists are firm when they talk to common people, and they are very firm. But when it comes to politicians and officials, they become nice. I don't understand that. I thought the big story in this was the fact that bank officials had to come and beg for their lives. Is the governor threatening them for cooperating with EFCC? Is he threatening them for operating according to the law? I thought that's the story that these journalists would focus on. And how come not one of these journalists even asked Fayose whether he collected money from Dasuki or not? The attitude of this journalist tells me that they are taking sides with the governor, and that is very heartbreaking. And of course, this same governor that just embarrassed the bank officials was quoting Bible verse for EFCC. I was like, really? I don't know, I'm confused. By the way, you can trust Nigerians that they have to joke about everything. So they completely redesigned the Zenith Bank logo after this incident. It's very bad. They even changed their motto. They said, we beg to differ, we beg. And if you look at the very bottom, they said, people, technology, fire service. Fires. Hey, Nigerians. Of course, I trust Nigerians. They have to joke about everything. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. And moving on to Kenya, I still cannot believe that secondary school students burnt down their own hostels, their dormitories, because the school did not allow them to watch a football match. I was like, why would somebody in Kenya destroy properties because of a match between Croatia and Portugal? We're talking about 7 hostels out of 11 hostels burnt down. Properties worth 40 million shillings. That is about $400,000. I don't understand. Do these people get paid for watching European football? The same thing happened in Nigeria. 3 people got injured fighting each other over who is superior between Ronaldo and Messi. That is like taking Panadol for somebody else's headache. Africans, honestly, we don't think. I think when it comes to football, these people, they've completely taken our senses. Why can't we develop our own football clubs, our own Premier Leagues, so that we would be the ones that the world is watching? Why can't we develop our own teams? We have great players in Africa, don't we? Some of them are playing for all these clubs that we worship. Don't you think that they laugh at us when they see how crazy we are about their own clubs? But to build one stadium of international standard is trouble for us. Do you know how much money these people make, especially from the African market? Because everybody in Nigeria, everybody is watching football. Do you know how much money these people make? Arsenal alone makes $550 million from commercial rights. They make $699 million from broadcasting their games. In 2004-2005, they made $158 million per match. Selling the most expensive ticket for $2,895, they made $158 million. I'm trying to say that soccer is not just a game, it's a business, and they are making huge amounts of money while we are fighting over them or destroying our own properties. We don't celebrate our own teams, our own clubs, like that of Oyinbo people. Something is wrong. And what are they teaching these boys in their schools? From what I heard, there has been fire damage at 20 schools in the Kisii area of Kenya in the last 6 months. 20 schools. This particular school where the students burnt down 7 hostels, do you know that they also burnt their own properties? Like this student, they burnt their own properties. I don't know, something is fundamentally wrong. And then they went into the kitchen, they broke everything in the kitchen, including the plates that they used to eat.
Seemingly not satisfied with the extent of their destruction, the students moved to the school's main kitchen and broke all the utensils, including their own plates.
Only for them to go to a neighboring all-girls school and break the windows of the laboratory because of a match happening in Europe? Are you kidding me? And a lot of people are saying on Twitter, on Facebook, that how come they did not allow the boys to watch soccer? They should have allowed them to watch soccer. I said, well, yeah, it was a Saturday. So yeah, I agree. The students should be allowed to watch soccer. But if they react like this when they are not allowed to watch soccer, I don't think that soccer is what these boys need. Seriously, I think that it's time that we think about what we are teaching in our schools. Beyond the paper education, beyond formal education, it is very important to teach individual and social responsibility. Community service must also be part of our curriculums. These students, they should start taking them to poor neighborhoods for them to help to rebuild homes. Take them to less privileged neighborhoods and let them do some kind of work, some kind of community service, like giving back, to the community, like serving the people without expecting anything in return. Things like that teaches you responsibility. You start learning from a young age about giving back to your community. If somebody has that kind of mentality, they won't be destroying their own dormitory. It makes no sense. And they also need to be educated about what other students of their age in other parts of the world are doing, like inventing stuff and things like that. We need to check the value system in place in our schools. These students must be able to think beyond secondary schools. And it's not just the teachers that will do this. Parents also have a huge role to play. If we don't, they may grow up acting like this guy. That guy that his wife was hiding with the remote control and he couldn't watch a soccer game. Oh my god, I honestly pity that wife if he would do this over a soccer game. But wait to be my own. You guys not do no much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Before I leave today, I like to read some of your emails, and the first one is from Gaki Alfred, and he said, "Hi Adeola, the express road that leads to Victoria Island from CMS has potholes before Bonnet Camp. It's been so for months now, and it's affecting traffic flow. The traffic officers deployed to work on the road so as to ease traffic congestion. The last mile police and even the army are busy using this opportunity to enrich themselves from any civilian downfall bus driver that passes through the BRT road. Today, I left home around 5 a.m. and was on that road for 5 hours before reaching my place of work in Victoria Island." Whoa, 5 hours? Because Nigeria, why? I don't know. It pains me because obviously one thing that Nigerian officials have not realized is the failure to do what they are supposed to do is costing us a lot. Not having constant electricity, bad roads. We're losing a lot because of this. Imagine sitting on the road for 5 hours just to get to work. I hope that somebody is watching this show that could help them on this road so that they can fix it and fix it on time. It's a shame that policemen, soldiers are now collecting bribe on this road instead of finding a way to fix it. Thank you for writing, and please keep me updated. I hope that they fix this road very soon. The next email is from Tony from Ebonyi State, and he says, "Hi Adeola, help us ask Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State why he's spending billions of naira building flyovers in Abakaliki. It's a useless idea because Abakaliki does not experience hold up. Secondly, while the pensioners are complaining and dying of non-payment of pensions and school children are out of school because of school fees, why would the governor give out 4 cars worth 116 million naira to Anyim, Egu, Elechi, and Onu? Why? I don't know much too, but I wish we could keep this real." Thank you so much, Tony, for writing. It's such a shame that I said last week that Nigerian governors have a misplaced priority. These people are refusing to pay salaries, but they have money to spend on buying cars and, like he said, building flyover. It would be really nice if they owe Nigerian governors 6 months of salaries, and then let's see what they would do. Maybe they would have an idea what people are talking about. This is so unfair. Not people that have worked very hard for you and you are spending the money anyhow. It's a shame. So thank you for writing, Tony. Hopefully the governor or somebody close to the governor will see this, and so he knows that we know what he's doing. This is so unfair. The next email is from Christian Nwabisi, and he wrote to tell me that I made a mistake in my episode 218. You mistakenly said when Ibori was governor of Bayelsa State. Thank you so much for writing, Christian. You're absolutely right. Ibori was not governor of Bayelsa. He was governor of Delta State. It was a slip of tongue. I've talked about Ibori several times as the governor of Delta State. So I do know he's the governor of Delta State. So it was a slip of tongue. I really apologize about that. I got so many messages about that. It was not even funny. The next email is from Ramsey Unity, and this person says, "Hi Adeola, I've been watching your show for a long time, but I'm not happy with the way you talked about Nigeria and you leave some parts out. There are many things going on in Edo State. Auchi, precisely. The citizens protested last month for not having light for over a year, and NEPA has increased their bills. And there was also a protest recently in the Federal Polytechnic Auchi, the #1 polytechnic in Africa. At least 3 students were killed and 94 students were arrested. They are also part of Nigeria, and you have to help them to keep things real as well." Thank you so much for writing, Ramsey. I'm so sorry that I cannot always talk about everything going on in Nigeria. God knows I try my best. Sometimes I wish I can clone myself, but you know, it's just me and Kododo. But trust me, we are working daytime, nighttime, part-time, and overtime for you guys. We are always looking out, you know, but it's a very big country. We are trying our best. I beg, you know, vex. But there's no way we can do justice in terms of talking about everything happening in Nigeria. More so because this is supposed to be an African show, you know, African update. My colleague, Dr. Damages, he focuses only on Nigeria. I hope you guys are watching his show because he does justice. He tries to talk about everything happening in Nigeria. I try to talk about everything happening in different parts of Africa. And as you guys know, I've always paid more attention to Nigeria. And that is so that people from other countries will not say, how come you're talking about us? Why don't you face what is happening in your own country? There's no week I don't talk about Nigeria, I think, except 1 week. So I'm really trying my best, and I'm so sorry. But after you sent this email, I looked into the story and I was shocked that the Polytechnic in Auchi insisted that students must pay their school fees before they could write their exam. And when these students protested, they killed 3 of them. How can you kill students for protesting? Last I checked, this is a democratic country. If people don't like something, they have the right to protest. I'm hoping that the government of Edo State will do something. I'm sure they can tell those that killed these students they should arrest them, so that would be a lesson for others. I really hope that the government will do something. And once again, Ramsey, thank you so much for letting me know, and I beg, no vex. And the last email that I will be reading is from Mohammed Rashid, and he says, "Hi Adeola, as much as I love your program and I don't miss any of your episode on the Osun uniform crisis was not fair. The issue did not concern the governor that you tagged as the cause of the crisis. For your record, Muslim students were using hijab when Oyinola was the governor. It was when Aregbesola came up with his own educational plan of merging schools and designing uniforms for them that he probably forgot that girls in secondary schools these days are already matured and they will need to be wearing hijab as Muslims. Muslim community challenged him and the government was taken to court. The judgment was passed after almost 2 years in favor of the Muslim community, and they asked that their daughters be wearing hijab. You could have asked Khan, chairman of Osun, where he was at that time. I expect you to tell the Khan to go to court and stop taking laws into their own hands by disrupting the school program in Osun State. I know you will read this email." Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Of course, I would read your email whether we agree or disagree. Doesn't mean that I won't read your email. Thank you very much, my brother, for writing. And you absolutely have a point. The Christian Association of Nigeria in Osun State need to take the government to court. Sometimes churches can be reluctant to take people to court, but in this situation, like he said, Muslims took the government to court. I think that Christians need to take the government to court as well. I feel like the problem started when the governor decided to merge all the schools together. If this had happened the other way around, I don't think that Muslims would be quiet either. If you have a Muslim school and Christians are coming there with choir robe or whatever, I don't think that Muslims will just sit idle and not say anything. I believe that's what happened when Muslim students were wearing hijab to schools that were funded by missionaries in Osun State. Now, the fact that the government had taken over the schools a long time ago, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Osun State, they have to fight this battle if they want their schools back, because I think the only solution is to give the schools back, to give the Muslim schools back to Muslims, let them wear whatever they want to wear. Give the Christian schools back to Christians, let them wear whatever they want to wear. At the same time, I don't think it's fair for the governor to be threatening to expel Christian students because they wore the whatever they were wearing. And the reason I said that is, if the governor of Osun State were to be a Christian and he threatened to expel Muslim students for wearing hijab, I will still talk about it, because I know that my Muslim brothers and sisters will not be quiet if that should happen. So let the governor give the schools back to people that own the school. At the same time, Khan needs to take the government to court, just like the Muslim community did. And that's all the time that I have for emails today. Please keep sending your emails to adeola.keepingitreal@gmail.com.
Growing up in Kenya, my sister and I were very close. But like any sisters, we fought a lot. She always got new clothes, and I always got hand-me-downs. Now she's putting her children through school in Kenya. We still fight sometimes, especially when I send money for the kids. I tell her, buy some clothes for the younger one, and we both laugh.
With nearly 500,000 locations, our app and online, this is moving money for better.
Alright y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next week, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out!
Welcome to Forstview Luxury Hotel. At Forstview Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forstview Luxury Hotel. We are located at #1 Adeola Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forceviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forstview Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.